You know, I was out hiking the other day and I saw a 6-foot snake.
No, don't try and trick me. Snakes don't have feet.
No, I meant that
I know my animals.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Cherokee brings the best in theater to the mountains with Unto These Hills, one of the longest running outdoor dramas in the United States. Now that speaks volumes. The show portrays the unique story of the Cherokee from their rise to power to the heartbreak of the Trail of Tears to today, where they're rewriting their place in history. So, you need to go have dinner and then see Unto These Hills. It'll be an evening you'll never forget. Now, the fourth thing to do in our 4 best things to do while you're here is the Oconaluftee Indian Village.
If you've ever dreamed of walking back in time, here's your chance. The Oconaluftee Indian Village is a tour through an actual village where Cherokee people are working and living as they did hundreds of years ago. The Oconaluftee Indian Village is really like getting in a time machine and waking up in a world that existed years and years ago. So there's 4 not just good, but great things you can do while visiting the Cherokee Indian Reservation.
And now, a lovely musical interlude.
Let it rain, let it pour.
Let it rain a whole lot more, 'cause I got them deep river blues. More about Cherokee and the Great Smoky Mountains on the other side of the break.
They follow us.
They're like, oh, cameras, wow, wow.
Oh!
That hardly seems necessary.
There's lots of different wild animals that live here in the park, and if you're lucky enough to see some of them, it just makes for a great outdoor experience. We thought we'd tell you about some of the animals that live here in the park, and then we thought, hey, let's have a little fun with this. Hey, I'm
Hello.
Mike. What's your name?
Kelly.
Kelly?
Yes.
All right, Kelly, we're trying to find out how much people know about animals in the park.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Sure.
What is the largest animal in the Smoky Mountain National Park?
Be a black bear. No.
Wrong. Weighing in at over 700 pounds, the last elk in this area was killed in the mid-1800s, but was reintroduced back into the Smokies in 2001. What kind of salamander is found nowhere in the world but the Great Smoky Mountains?
I don't know that one either.
The red-cheeked salamander.
Okay.
There's another unusual salamander that lives here called the hellbender. This lizard can weigh in at 5 pounds and grow to a length of 2.5 feet. That's a big lizard.
That is.
What animal was all but eliminated from the park due to being trapped for their gorgeous pelts?
It's either elk or river otter.
River otter. Bingo. Yep. The river otter was reintroduced back into the park in the 80s, and these playful little creatures seem to be thriving well.
Yep.
And that's the sound of one right there.
Yeah.
They go,
They sound just like a car.
they do,
yeah.
exactly. What is the one non-native animal that lives abundantly in the park but is very rarely seen? What do you think that might be?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay, what is your guess? There's a lot of them in the park, but you never see them.
Wait, wild hog.
Wild boar. That is exactly, the European wild boar was brought here in the early 1900s as a game animal, but after escaping their pens, they begin to multiply and have now become a menace in the park. Name the 2 wild dog type animals that live in the park.
Coy dogs and coyotes.
coy dogs.
Yeah, it's a cross between a coyote and a domesticated dog.
Well, you got one I didn't even know. I've got fox and coyote, both the red and gray fox. Now, the red wolf was reintroduced here in 1991, but is believed to no longer exist here. Jake, thanks a bunch, Bubba.
No
You
problem.
did good. I appreciate it.
There's a lot of other different creatures in the park, like wild turkey and over 200 different kinds of birds, so do yourself a favor and go take in the real reason for coming to the Great Smoky Mountains.
I'm back! For those of us who know that not only is breakfast the most important meal of the day, it's the most delicious. Imagine this. A hot, steamy breakfast bar piled high with anything you can imagine. Bacon, sausage, corned beef hash, scrambled eggs, biscuits and gravy, grits, home fries, even pancakes cooked to order just the way you want. Don't forget, the fresh fruit bar comes with it. The breakfast bar is a hit with kids too, or you and your family can always order off the menu. Newfound Lodge Breakfast, a family tradition at a great price.
If you really want to get a good look at this area we call the Mountain South, there's no better way to do it than to take a leisurely drive on the Blue Ridge Parkway.
Dubbed America's most scenic drive, the Blue Ridge Parkway stretches 469 miles from the Great Smoky Mountains to the Shenandoah National Park in Virginia. Construction began on the parkway in September of 1935 and 52 years later was completed in September of 1987. What sets the parkway apart from any other two-lane road is that you won't see shopping malls, billboards, fast food restaurants, hotels, or for that matter, it's very seldom you'll even see a house. It's kind of like driving through the southern Appalachian Mountains 100 years ago.
In addition to being one of the most beautiful drives in the United States, the Blue Ridge Parkway is lined with scenic overlooks, picnic and camping facilities, hiking trails, and some interesting historic sites.
Of course, taking on a project like building the Blue Ridge Parkway didn't come without a few obstacles. The final section of the parkway had to be built around Grandfather Mountain near Linville, North Carolina, without damaging one of the world's oldest mountains. Now, the solution to this problem came in the form of a 1,243-foot bridge known as the Lynn Cove Viaduct, the most complicated concrete structure ever built.
One section of the Blue Ridge Parkway, located about 35 miles northeast of Asheville, crosses over the top of Mount Mitchell.
At 6,684 feet above sea level, Mount Mitchell is the highest peak east of the Colorado Rockies, and it's definitely cooler up here.
And I wonder why that is, because it seems like the closer to the sun you were, the warmer it would be. What?
If you plan on traveling the Blue Ridge Parkway, you might want to check with park headquarters to make sure there's no road closings due to weather conditions. But otherwise, enjoy your journey on America's most scenic drive.